Hello, everyone. My name is Rasheda Kamaria Williams, Chief Empowering Officer for Empowered Flower Girl. And if you're new to our channel, Empowered Flower Girl is a social enterprise that is on a mission to transform the way young people relate to one another and themselves. I'm super excited today because our interview series is returning, and I am super excited to kick things off with an amazing phenomenal woman, okay? Award-winning nonprofit founder, award-winning coach, just an amazing, beautiful, spirited woman. Hint, hint, with us today. So I would like to welcome Miss Crystal Clark-Chatman, who is the founder and CEO of the Beautiful Spirited Women and Girls Mentoring Program. Now, the organization was founded in Memphis, I believe, but now they've expanded and are serving girls and young women globally. I'm going to let Crystal just give you a little bit of background about the organization and what she's doing. So, Crystal, it is great to have you and to formally meet you.
Good afternoon, Miss Rasheda. Thank you so very much for having me on this YouTube series. It is such an honor to be here with you on today, and I'm just like warm in my heart, filled with flowers that you invited me to be here with you on today. So thank you for that introduction as well. Amazing. So my name is Crystal Clark-Chatman, and I am the founder and CEO of Beautiful Spirited Women Girls Mentoring Program, which was founded in 2009 in the city of Memphis. And as of today, we have expanded to serve in 12 other cities as well as worldwide. This organization has, hosted over 400 free workshops for girls ages 4 to 19 years of age. Everything you needed as a young girl. Today, we make sure that every young girl do not go without. So everything that you need as a young girl, every young girl today is experiencing everything that we knew that we could not ask our mothers, our grandmothers, our friends or family. We are the restoration queens in our community and the communities that we serve. We have also conducted over 400 community service projects where the girls go out and serve the community, give back, whether it's through their church, their school, or extracurricular activities. And as of today, we do not have any teen pregnancy. And these are all the girls who has been enrolled in our program and has went through our cohort leadership program that has been on the roster and being consistent and dedicated within the programs. So that is just a little background of who BSW is.
Wow, that is great. I am very proud of the work that you're doing, as well as the girls and young women who have gone through your program and matriculated through it. It is really comforting to know that our girls, no matter where they are, they do have support. And I just really wanted to have a conversation about how we can support girls and young women, especially those that are in transition, right? Many of them are going from adolescence to adulthood, and this is graduation season, right? So many are transitioning from high school to college and career. So today we're just going to talk about that and the type of support that is available to help our young people, our 21st century teens who have been facing so many challenges, right, during the pandemic and even beforehand, but they also have numerous opportunities to reach their full potential. And I definitely believe in the power of mentoring. But I wanted to find out from you. You're a successful woman. You are educated. You have received national and international awards. But where did you get your start? Because I'm curious, because we're going to talk about careers and how our girls can get internships and how they can use that to in their careers, right, and how they can transition from college to career and the support that's needed there. But we all had to start somewhere, right? So thinking back, like what was your very first job, and how did you get it?
So first and foremost, I will not, and I tell everybody, every interview that I do, I would not take credit for anything that you just said, because it was a gift from God. This whole entire platform, everything you see, from the logos to the glitter to the programs, everything was strategically a gift, an assignment from God. This is something that I did not have on my agenda to do, because my background is in financing. So I left a 5-year, 6-year financing background to pursue nonprofit full time. So that was a transition for myself. But to go all the way back to my very first job, it was actually, I was a hairstylist, what you call the hood hairstylist. So I was what they call Cristal, little country in the community which I grew up in, which was in a lower income area. So I did stay in the housing development, which was the housing projects growing up. So I did hair. Everybody knew me by doing hair. That is how I pretty much made my extra coins, my extra side money, because I was in so many extracurricular activities. And by my mother being a single parent mother, she could not afford a lot of stuff, but the extracurricular activities that I was in, she said, as long as you're doing good, baby, we're going to find a way. And then plus I was the baby of 10, right? So she stated, that, hey, look, if you're going to be doing something positive, I will find a way. Don't you worry about that. Because at that age, a child shouldn't even be worrying about how to pay for majorette boots, or how to pay for, uniforms, or, things like that. So, but I just became this natural braider. I became, knowing how to put a ponytail up, putting some gel on. Back then we called it gel. Now they call it edge control.
Right.
The Ampro black gel back then with the spritz and all that.
Oh,
so
yeah.
now,
The feathered ponytail. Yes.
With the fan. So now it's like, they using so many other products, but that's pretty much how I started. And transitioning from there, but I was still doing hair, and I went on to pursue to get my cosmetology license. So I never stopped.
And I didn't even know that. So I'm learning something new about you today.
Yeah, so that is another profession that I do have, is I do have a cosmetologist license. So I am a full licensed cosmetologist. And then my very first, like, just say corporate summer job, I actually worked for one of our pastors and first ladies that was in our community in Westwood. And I was the secretary for the church. And I was probably about 14, maybe 15, when I first got like my summer job. And it was, very interesting working for a church, but then they had the kids summer program. So I was doing clerical work, filing papers, answering the phones, and all that good stuff that that a secretary do. So it was, a very interesting, beginning of my, getting a new job, and, coming from high school during the summertime. So it was very interesting.
And I find it fascinating, because nowadays everyone is like, oh, what is your side hustle? Everyone's talking about side hustles and doing that. But look, we were doing that before it became trendy, right? Just being able to use your gifts and talents to make money and make a difference for people in your community. So that's really cool. My my first job was a summer job. I think I was around 13 or 14 as well. And I too was doing clerical work for the human resources department. I'm from Detroit, so I worked for the city of Detroit. And a lot of the other kids, they were doing work like cutting grass and mowing grass and things of that nature, picking up trash and everything. And, while that's great, I just knew like, that's not for me. And in the hot sun all summer, I did not want that life. So I was like, give me an office job. I'll be fine with that. And that was a great experience being around so many professionals who they had this education. They had, all of these degrees and everything like that. But I just remember my first supervisor, she was so cool and down to earth. And at first I was as a kid, I was thinking, no, these grown-ups are so boring in their suits and their corporate jobs. And, I just thought of them as suits, right? I didn't think that they had lives or fun outside of the office until I met my first supervisor. And oh my gosh, she was amazing. She was funny. She was very laid back, but she also instilled in me integrity.
Yes.
So I just wanted to find out from you. So as young people are getting their first jobs, many of them will be starting, their first summer jobs, in a few months, or maybe next month, they're starting internships this summer. So what advice would you have to young people, or to give even your younger self as you were starting that first job? What maybe now that you didn't know then, that you wish you had as you were starting your job or starting your career?
Yes. So I can honestly talk to my younger self as well as the young people, the young generation. First and foremost, you want to just be present. You want to be, not look for the check, but the check is coming, but be present, learn. Listen, the goal is to learn as much as you can, get as much experience as you can. Just be very observing for the right thing. So if you see this person stating, this is how you file certain files, this is how you file confidential files, this is how you answer the phones, because etiquette is so important. Like we as grown individuals are still learning etiquette, and etiquette has turned into boundaries. So a lot of times, when we are doing etiquette, we have to, watch, when, the person get ready to answer the phone. I remember, back then they used to train us, don't let the phone ring no more than 2 times.
Yep.
And when you answer the phone, you greet them with a smile, even though they can't see your smile, but they know that you are smiling through the phone, because a person can feel you even through the phone.
Your energy energy is contagious, right?
Yes, and a lot of people used to laugh at me because I used to say that. Like when you answer the phone as if that is your next lottery pick, or you are the next winner in line, or you are the next person to receive, because you never know who is on the other side of that phone. So telling my younger self, getting the references are very important. So every person that you work for, every job that you work at, you make sure that you make a beautiful, stamp, like make a beautiful stamp, because once you leave that job, you will always have that person to vouch for you. You will always have that person speak for you on your behalf when you're not present. Hey, this person was on time all the time. This person called in. If they was running late, this person was very passionate about their job. Like, you want people to speak on your behalf. So while you in position and you're learning how to do these things through your summer job, through your intern, be present. And when I say be present, don't be on your cell phones, because I know right now that is like, people say money is the rule of evil right now. I think our cell phones are like, it has got out of control, because the youth don't have what we used to have back then, and that's going outside and play. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Making up things to do to play. Now everything is straight technology when it comes to the youth today. So me telling my younger self and telling the youth all over the world, just be present and
I
be
love that.
active, because being active is so very important, because once you transition from that to adulthood, everything is fast paced.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is moving, everything is shifting. So you have to change with the weather, summer, spring, fall, everything has to change when within your shift and when you are transitioning from, young into adulthood.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, it's interesting that so many young people, when they do get into their jobs, they want to automatically run things, right? I met so many of my younger relatives. They're thinking they're going in, they're going to be a manager in 2 weeks. And I like that you said it's about learning too. You're there to learn. Yes, you're there to do a job. You have particular assignments that you have to do, but you're also there to learn. And especially if you're taking on an internship or a fellowship or something like that. But it's all a learning process, and we are continuing to learn. Learning doesn't stop. And what I wanted to ask you about was your leadership program, because I believe like learning and listening are two distinct, they're leadership qualities, right? And I know that you all offer some leadership programs or leadership type of training or events. So could you tell us a little bit more about what you all do in terms of helping girls and young women to develop their leadership skills?
Yes, so we pretty much went into a just intense leadership cohort program. This program will create mindful and spaces for young ladies to be very like I mean, I'm talking about intense in learning about leadership. Leadership, everyone wants to be the leader, but a lot of people don't know how to follow either. So it's very important that you learn first how to follow and learn how to be a leader at the same time. Because if you in the positions that we are in as nonprofit leaders, we also have to step back and listen as well. And if we don't listen, we won't never learn what we need to learn to go to the next level, right? So that's what we're teaching our young ladies, is to know when to listen and know when to speak. Because sometimes it may just require you to just take notes. It may just require you just to listen. That's it. And don't be so quick to always having to respond every time something either don't go your way, or you don't think it's right, or you don't think, oh, it should go this way, because a lot of us have our own rules.
Yes.
And sometimes those rules do not fly with everybody. So that's where teamwork comes in at. And we all have to, get to a point where when you are a part of a team, even though all of us are leaders on the team, but somebody still has to lead
This is
the
true.
actual team. And we all have to agree to disagree, but we still have to agree to get that job done. Does it make sense?
It makes sense
So
for sure.
we want to teach the girls that as well. It's just like community service. Don't wait and do community service when you need community service. Go ahead and do community service, because one day you will need community service hours. It's just that simple. So don't wait until it's time for you to leave. And then, you in position, like just say, for instance, something is not right. Now, you took notes, that this is not going the right way, and you don't say anything about it, or you don't speak up. Okay, so we're teaching our girls that as well. If you know something isn't right, and your name is going to be on that particular,
Yeah.
format, you have to speak up. And that's where a lot of times, you know, when knowing when to speak and when knowing not to speak. So that leadership program is, going to be 6 months long, and we're going
Okay.
to take them through those leadership steps, and then we're going to have a closing ceremony where the youth, the young women, will explain how important it was for them to go through a program, what they learned in the program, and how this program will help them succeed in the rest of their lives. So,
Okay, that's awesome. And I definitely am a proponent for young people and being in service, strategic community service, because a lot of times, some of them will volunteer for a project and they have no passion for it. They don't even want to be there, but they don't realize sometimes that, hey, you can actually take on a volunteer project in an area that you're interested in maybe pursuing as a career, or even something that you may be passionate about, a problem in your community or even in your school that you see and you have a solution for it. There's opportunities for young people to really hone in on their passion and combine that with their skills. And that's something that we also teach as well in some of our workshops and programs as well, about strategic service and how to find your passion and to pursue that. So speaking of, pursuing one's passion, I, just wanted to find out from you, like, what really drove you to start Beautiful Spirited Women? Like, I love the name of the organization. It just it's inspiring, right? So what passion did you have that led you to launch this? I know that it was a mission, it was a divine mission, but what sparked you to say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and follow this?
Yeah, so unfortunately, I had to be obedient. Just being in position at the time where I just fell rock bottom. I didn't even have a clue what was going on, in my personal life as well as my professional life. So at the time, I was very unhappy. I mean, you can have everything but still be unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, remember that.
Yeah.
You, young girls, young women, you can still have everything and be unhappy. But you have to analyze, you have to look over your life and say, what is it, God, that you want me to do? Because every time I kept trying to do what I wanted to do, everything just kept failing. Not saying that when you do what you want to do, it's not going to fail, but that was just my story.
Sure.
And I began to, tell myself, look, I got to get a little bit more intimate with God, because, I had it going on. I had the car, I had the money, I had the house. I mean, I just had it going on. I just felt like, not saying that I didn't have God in my life, but I wasn't going to church like I, used to. I wasn't paying my tithes. I wasn't going to Bible class. I just wasn't doing what I supposed to be doing as far as when it came to our Heavenly Father. Okay. So I went back and told myself, I need to get a little bit closer to God, because I need to hear from Him. Because I was hearing from man, you should do this, you should do that. Right. No, you go and do this. Oh, I think you'll be good at that. And when you hear from everybody, every angles, and not hearing from God, and especially hearing from yourself, like we always trying to be what other people want us to be, and we never fulfill the assignment of what God wants us to be.
Listen, ma'am, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have to just interject right here, because you have said more than a word right there. And I believe that many young people that we encounter, their parents are pushing an agenda on them, oh, you have to be a doctor, or, you have to go to law school, or, oftentimes they will have that pressure, their family, oh, you have to continue our family business or that legacy. And oftentimes they end up miserable because they're living for other people.
Yes. And that is something that I told myself, look, I got to listen to God. This is me talking to self. Okay. So I began, going to church regularly, going to Bible class, and I joined the women's ministry. So the women's ministry pretty much, gave me hope. It pushed me to be alive again. They talked about finance, and they talked about relationships. They talked about friendships. They talked about the foundation, and that's where I felt that I didn't even really have a concrete foundation in my life. I was just everywhere, but I had it all, okay? But it came to a point where I had to literally say these words, Lord, what is it that you want me to do? Because every time I try to do what I want to do, I keep failing. And time went on, time, healed itself. And I just was sitting in the bed one day and I just noticed that I was going over my Bible, notes and Bible study notes. And I just began to, how you in class and you tracing over the teacher's board and you can constantly listen to her talk about, the War One, two.
Right.
And you just begin to write your name and you just keep tracing over your name. And as your name appear darker and darker, you like, okay, but that's how BSW appeared on my paper, clear as day. Like when I say literally clear as day, and I'm like, Lord, what is BSW? This was back in like 2008 when I seen it. And then I just got to praying. I was like, okay. And when I say Rasheda, like out of nowhere, took some, months and time, beautiful spirited women appeared on the paper. Like BSW was very dark. So it was like bold letters because I traced over it so many times. But then under it, it had beautiful and then spirited and women. And the rest was pretty much history. So I knew what I went through as a young girl and how dare I be disobedient to the word of God and not allow girls from this day forward to go through what I went through. I can't, like Michael Jackson, heal the world, make it a better place.
Yeah.
I knew I couldn't heal the entire world, but I knew I can touch at least one young lady that can be able to touch another young lady and be a domino effect. So
and look where you are now. I mean, your programs are global. I mean, is truly a testament to how, like you said, being obedient, following self, following spirit to really guide you toward your true life's purpose. And, I want to make sure that before we conclude this interview, it's great. I could talk to you for, hours and getting your wisdom and all of the wonderful things that you're doing in the community. But before we close out here, I just want to make sure that people have an opportunity to be able to connect with you and learn how they can either, get engaged with your programs or if there is opportunity for virtual enrollment in some of your programs, that sort of thing. We do have people who we've worked with across the country. So we know that, hey, you don't have to be in Memphis necessarily to participate in some of these programs, correct?
Yes. You don't have to be in Memphis. So we are actually virtual from the pandemic. So we were 100% in person before the pandemic, but now we are virtual and in person. So on all our platforms, you can follow us at Beautiful Spirited Women. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Well, Instagram is Beautiful Spirited Women, and then Twitter and Facebook is BSW Blessings. But you can still type in Beautiful Spirited Women and it will pop up regardless. But that is our main.
And I'll make sure we put that in the comments and everything like that. So people will be able to get in touch with you for sure.
Yes, but virtual, you can, just go on our website and visit us at, www.beautifulspiritedwomen.org, and it will give you like the programs and all the information from there.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. And one last thing before we go, any final words or parting thoughts on helping girls and young women as they're making these transitions from high school to college or college to career, or even someone who's younger, who's still trying to figure it out. Oftentimes these transitions happen if you're going from middle school to high school, and there's all these changes. So as young people are transitioning, what final words of advice would you give to them to support them or to encourage them?
So my final words would be for the young ladies just transitioning from high school to college and to a career. Just do right by people. Do right by everyone that you come in contact with, because you never know who you will need to sign off on a grant, who you would need to sign off on a scholarship, who you would need to sign off on a job. You never know who you will need. And just, be very observing for the right reasons. We as individuals, as teens and young women, we're always observing people for the bad. Start observing people, for the good. And always know that it's okay to not be okay. And if it's something wrong, if it's something that you are going through, find someone that you trust and that you can talk to, because leaving high school, going into college is not an easy peasy, because it's something that I honestly went through. Because, like I said, I wanted to do hair. I wanted to be on, platforms for Brunner Brothers and showing people how to do hair. And I was pushed to go to college. Now, do I regret it? No, because I met amazing professionals and women and men that has helped me, get to the next level of my career, as well as transitioning from college to career. It is good to have a degree. It's good to have education. And it's also good to have something to fall back on, because you never know what twist or turn that you may come into, because we all have to jump over a hurdle. We all have to hit a bump in the road. But just know that there is someone out there that will give you the answers, that will help you with the tools and the resources if you apply it. You have to apply it to your life. You can't always have your hand out. And do the work. Do the work. Don't look for others to do what you're supposed to do. Every day you have to get up and be firm and be just present again in what it is that you need to do to get to the next level.
Wow. And those sound like qualities of a true leader. So
Yes.
Spoken by a leader to future generations of leaders. So once again, I would just like to thank you. It has been an absolute honor and pleasure connecting with you, and make sure everyone that you follow Beautiful Spirited Women and check them out. Check out their website, follow them on social media, and thank you all for tuning in. And until next time, we'll have more amazing, powerful women to talk about how we can best support girls and young women in our communities and globally. So thank you.
Thank you.